Rafflesia is the largest and heaviest flower in the world. This flower grows to 1 meter wide and weighs about 10 kilograms. Rafflesia is a native of rainforests in Indonesia. Rafflesia flower has a small life of 5 to 7 days. Its petals are reddish-brown with white spots. This rare exotic flower is a real surprise for people who are lucky enough to see it while traveling in Southeast Asia. Rafflesia is a plant without any leaves or roots. Rafflesia attaches itself to a host plant. The flower is not just famous for its size, but also its smell. When the enormous flower blooms, it begins to smell awful like rotting meat that attracts different insects. Rafflesia flowers may bloom unexpectedly at any time of the year. Forest mammals carry the seeds, helping the Rafflesia to spread. Rafflesia is an endangered or threatened kind of plant. Cosmetic products have been used for thousands of years to help people to look beautiful and also keep them clean and healthy. We know that cosmetics were often used in ancient Egypt. Many unusual bottles which held oils and perfumes have been found and can be seen in different museums. Not only women, but also men use cosmetics. In some primitive tribes and societies, men paint their faces and bodies. This is usually done to show that they are of some high rank. Sometimes, however, it is used to show that the people of that group are taking part in some form of ceremony. Today, in our society, cosmetics are usually used to make people look more beautiful. It is not difficult to obtain cosmetics today, as any type of cosmetic product can be found everywhere at different prices. Today, many are made mainly from synthetic materials and vegetable oils. Nowadays, cosmetics may be called makeup too. After inventing dynamite, Swedish-born Alfred Nobel became a very popular man. He didn't want people to remember him as the inventor of dynamite. So, in 1895, just 2 weeks before his death, he created an international fund. The aim of the fund was to award prizes to people who had made worthwhile contributions to mankind. Originally, there were 5 awards: literature, physics, chemistry, medicine, and peace. The 6th award, economics, was added many years later, in 1968. Nobel's original legacy of 9 million was invested, and its profit was used for the awards, which vary from $40,000 to $125,000. The prize ceremonies take place once a year in the capital of Sweden. Every year on December 10, which is the anniversary of Alfred Nobel's death, the awards are presented to the winners. The awards are gold medal, diploma, and money. The number of awards Americans have won in science is much more than in literature. No awards were presented from 1940 to 1942 at the beginning of World War II.
The most popular Mexican artist in the world, Frida Kahlo, left her mark on art history. Before beginning painting, Frida wanted to become a doctor. Frida was an excellent student, but she became sick at the age of 6. However, Frida was admitted into a prestigious Mexican school. But the hardships didn't stop. After a traffic accident, her stomach was injured by an iron. She had nearly 30 operations. Frida had to spend the rest of her life as a patient. After the accident, in order to cope with difficulties, she became interested in art. Self-portraits hold a very important place in her work. They expressed her pains and suffering. She was also interested in politics. She joined the Mexican Communist Party and in her paintings she showed her anti-American thoughts. She became the voice of the depressed Mexican women, and she wanted to improve their life conditions. She never smiled in photos, because she hated her smile and her teeth. She was a beauty icon. She designed her own hairstyles, decorating them with colored ribbons and flowers. She is still a source of inspiration for artists and stylists. What's wrong with you, Mary?
Well, Tom, while I was on my way here, I felt that I can't breathe. That made me think about pollution.
That's annoying. However, I hope something will be done to solve this problem.
I think the main source of pollution is cars, especially cars with fossil fuel such as gasoline. I think they won't last forever, but electric cars will be used as long as we produce electricity.
Last month, I investigated information about electric cars. Around 1832, Robert Anderson from the USA invented electric cars, but it was not practical until the 1870s. But their commercial usage began in Britain later.
It is very interesting information as well. I was interested in the batteries of electric cars. First, batteries were not rechargeable. Then they were used by recharging. But charging takes longer, and replacing them is expensive.
That sounds interesting. How long does it take for changing batteries?
Fortunately, one battery lasts for 10 to 20 years.
Do you know where they are widely used?
In China, but Los Angeles is named as the best city in the world for electric cars. It is the electric car capital of the world.
Hey Mary, do you know there was a language only for women, and men didn't know it?
Really? In which country?
In China. Not all people in the regions of China were educated. Long ago, only men learned to read and write. The women in those areas of the country were not happy with this, so they created their own secret writing system.
Fantastic! How was it called?
Nushu.
How did women begin to use it?
In the past, a woman couldn't choose her husband. It was the custom of her family to choose a husband for her. When a woman got married, she normally left her family and went to live with her husband's family. Before leaving her family behind, her female friends wrote something in her small notebook.
What did they write about?
About friendship, memories, and their wishes. At the end of the book, they left some blank pages for her to write too.
That's interesting. Did men finally learn the Nushu language?
Yes, of course. Besides this, in the 1920s, women began to go to school and learned to read and write. They didn't need the Nushu language anymore. There was a teacher who learned about the Nushu language, and he began to do research about it.
I think it must be very exciting because there were not any other languages in the world that referred only to women.
Hi Jane, I want to plan a surprise holiday for my wife's birthday. Could you please help me with that?
Hi Harry. Absolutely. Where do you want to go?
To Madrid. What do you think about it? You have already been there.
Yes, 3 times. I really like the city. You will definitely have a great time there.
What about the hotels there?
I think it can be a bit expensive to stay at the hotel.
What would you recommend then?
Well, you can rent a flat and pay less. It is more comfortable.
I will search for a place on the internet then. It will be cheaper, won't it?
I think so.
That's great. Can I ask you one more thing? Is eating out very expensive in Spain?
No, you can eat at local restaurants and spend very little money. Also, you can enjoy delicious local food.
That's for sure. But I am worried that my wife may not like it.
I don't think so. She will love the food and the city very much.
You've been so helpful, Jane.
That's my pleasure, Harry. I wish you a great holiday. Hi, Roll. What are you reading? Can I have a look?
Oh, Sonia, it's an interesting book about ancient Egypt.
Wow, I'm so interested in ancient civilizations. Will you tell me something about it?
Egypt is a land of mysteries. The Egyptian pyramids are the most famous of all the ancient monuments.
Yes, they are.
I have read several books on ancient Egypt so far. I am an expert on it.
The pharaohs used to govern the country. People considered them as gods. See, I know a lot too.
A lot of scientists have been doing research in the pyramids for a long time. Today, they are still making important discoveries.
Research? I think thieves have been doing it. They have stolen some of the treasures there.
Maybe. An ancient Egyptian civilization was successful because of the river Nile. The Nile was the quickest and easiest way to travel from one place to another. People used the river to water the dry lands, and it helped to develop agriculture of the country.
I can add one more thing. The ancient Egyptians were also interested in astrology. Zodiac signs were among Egyptians' discoveries. They took this star science from the Greeks and improved them. This is Janet Smith from apartment 23. Can I speak to the apartment manager?
Hi, it's me. How can I help you?
I have a serious problem. The window of my room is broken.
Oh, that's not good. How did it happen?
I don't know. I wasn't at home when it happened.
Who do you think can do it?
I guess the kids in the neighborhood.
Why? What makes you think so?
Well, there is a ball of baseball next to the broken glass.
Well, a baseball ball is certainly strong evidence.
I saw them playing before I left my apartment.
Well, did you recognize any of them?
No.
Well, it will take a couple of days to repair it.
A friend of mine is in this business. If you don't mind, I can call him.
That's okay for me. First, let me come and see the damage.
No problem. Who will pay for the damage, you or me?
As you didn't break it, you don't have to pay for it.